In this video we're going to talk about positives for printmaking. The role of the positive in printmaking is a part of the process of exposing images, stroke layers, onto screen frames, photolithography plates, photopolymer plates and for photo etching. I'm going to show you three types of positive. We're going to look at autographic, paper stencils and what I tend to call kind of flat bits and bobs, and we're also going to look at photographic positives which are digitally printed. So we'll start off with autographic. So this is an example of a pencil drawing onto drafting film. When making positives, you need to think about the layers within the image that you're going to print. So if we're going to make a 3-colour print, we will be looking at 3 positives, 3 layers. And if this was going to be a screen print, we'd think about 3 screens as well. So 1 layer per screen. Okay. So with drafting film, it's great for drawing with pencil, Chinagraph pencil, black acrylic or black Indian ink. Another example is true grain, which is grained transparent plastic. Again, very good for black acrylic, Indian ink, Chinagraph pencil, oil pastel. Not so good for pencil. The texture of the true grain will pick up kind of a tonal range, kind of a half tone, which can be very useful in our layer making as well. This is an example, just back to some drafting film, of black acrylic paint. We can also use tracing paper to create our layer. It works very well. It's not as stable as drafting film. I personally think that pencil works better on drafting film as well, but it will do the job if need be. So another example of true grain. With a variety of tones and some textures. You can actually paint out the true grain completely with black acrylic paint, and then once dry you can scratch into it to reveal scratchy marks, which we could then transfer, expose to a screen or lithography plate. I'm going to move on to the next type of positive. Which is paper stencils and kind of flat bits and bobs. Paper stencils are great for kind of real flat, sharp areas to print if you wish. You could create a torn edge by just tearing the paper. The basic role of the positive is to block the light from the exposure unit, okay? And the dark marks or the area that's blocking the light will be the area that will print. You could, if you wish, create all your components with paper stencils, expose them onto a screen, and then compile the composition and print layer upon layer. So we could have a pair of glasses. We could be using found objects that are flat, such as a feather. We could be using hair, thread, open weave fabrics, anything that's flat and will block the light. If you're ever unsure about what to put on the exposure unit, just ask, just in case. Lots and lots of possibilities with paper stencils. We've had students in the past create quite elaborate paper cuts, expose them onto screens or lithography plates and print them, and it could be a final piece finished just there. I'm going to move on to photographic positives or digitally produced positives, which are printed onto film or acetate. We'll start off with this piece. So this was created by scanning a photo in, converting the photo to a bitmap and then a halftone and having it printed out onto film. Now if we're creating halftones for screen printing, we need to convert the image to a 45 lines per inch halftone. If we were creating one for photolithography, we'd be looking at 85 lines per inch. For photopolymer and photo etching, it can be 100 lines per inch of dots above. And for photopolymer, we can actually just print the image out as a grayscale if we wish, which gives the illusion of a continuous tone. So there's lots of possibilities there. We could print type out and have type exposed onto our screen frames or photolithography plates or photopolymer plates or for relief etching. It could be images that you've created digitally that we then print out onto film. Something that's more of an autographic nature perhaps. Your positives, if printed out digitally or even photographic, do not have to be square or rectangular. Okay? You can cut them up into circles and explore various options like that. So don't feel restricted just because it's a photographic image that it has to be square or rectangular. Okay, there's lots of possibilities just with the positives we can make from autographic to handmade marks through to photographic with kind of paper stencils and flat bits and bobs in the middle. The image making possibilities are truly endless. And again, this is information that we can expose onto screen frames, onto photolithography plates, onto photopolymer plates, and for photo etching. If you have any questions concerning positives in relation to the process you are wishing to use to explore your concept or your images, feel free to pop down and speak to Damien or myself, and we can help you out from there. Thank you for watching.